night. Shadows fall, dimming the light. Whispers grow, a rising tide. Vindicator, where do you hide? Still is over, heart ablaze. Through smoky haze, he sets his gaze. Justice calls a burning need. A city's wounds he vows to heed. From cobbled streets to tower high, Vindicator takes to the sky. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator. Whispers turn to thunderous roar. As shadows creep, he slams the door on tyranny's cruel, grasping hand. He fights for freedom, takes a stand. With courage born of darkest night, he ignites hope, a guiding light. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. Though battles rage and darkness reigns, hope's ember burns within his veins. He'll never yield, he'll never fall. He answers freedom's clarion call. Strikes back with iron hands, defender of this promised land. Breaks the chains, sets spirits free. Vindicator for all to see. A symbol etched against the moon. Vindicator rising soon.
Hello, everybody. How you all doing? How's the audio? Is the audio doing all right? Give me a thumbs up about the audio, if it's okay, because we've had some issues with the audio recently. Glad you liked it. Glad you liked the intro. I just tweaked the end a little bit. Nice one. Great. Right, so let's just get straight into this today. We've got a lot to get through. Thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah, awesome. Nice one, Steve. Hello, chat. How you all doing? Glad to see you all come in. Thanks, Craig. Right, let's get into this. So, as many of you probably know, there's a big thing going on today. It's the budget today. I'm not going to touch on the budget today because I need to go through it all and see what the crack is with everything. Yep. So AI has a fetish for Soviet. Yep. Audio is fine, better than the other day. Yeah. I think it was due to the weather or my son being on his game and stream at the same time I was. Laugh out loud. Oh, that was satisfying. Thanks, Tom. But yeah, it's amazing what you can do with AI nowadays, isn't it? I mean, I'm not as good as Tom with the old animation and stuff like that. He does all his stuff from scratch. I just typed in a few words and came up with that. But yeah, Tom's the maestro when it comes to animations and stuff like that. and editing in general, really. He's your man, so if you ever want anything editing, check out Tom. He's your guy. Right, let's get into this straight away. So as you know, today's budget day. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow at some point. Go into that. I need to go into the ins and outs of it. Obviously, it's going to be a total disaster. We all know it is. But there's also there's a protest going on today in London, and that protest is the farmers. Now, they were supposed to have a peaceful protest. I think it was in Trafalgar Square, but at the last minute, the police cancelled it. They cancelled the protest. Now, taking consideration that farmers have come from all over the country to take part in this peaceful protest, they just thought, F it, and we're just going to do it anyway. So the Metropolitan Police put in restrictions saying that anybody coming into London with an agricultural vehicle or coming into the centre of London would be arrested. So they started to arrest the farmers, believe it or not. We'll play something here. We'll show it. We'll just show it because it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Right, so as you can see, I'll just play it.
Being arrested just by Trafalgar Square. It's absolutely outrageous. This is the place of the public and farmers being arrested under Section 14 dispersal because the police the day before decide to say that they're not going to be allowed to protest.
I've asked you several times to follow the conditions.
Yeah, I just want to say, right, that when the government starts saying when you cannot protest, you're not living in a free society anymore. They shouldn't be able to decide where and when you protest. That is your human right. And this is why President Donald Trump recently has started bringing up the issues that he has with the Starmer regime breaching people's human rights. The police shouldn't be able to say, right, you can't protest in this area. That shouldn't happen. They should just police the event to such an extent that it prevents breach of the peace, not just cancel it. This is all political. This was done on purpose, in my opinion. They knew the farmers wouldn't just turn around and go back home. They knew they'd turn up to this event, and they just want the excuse to arrest farmers as a deterrent. This is going to backfire on these people immensely, and if they're not careful, pretty soon they're going to be fighting a war on two fronts with the farmers and the patriots. If those two movements get together, which they should totally join forces at this point now, because they both want the same thing. They both want the Starmer regime gone. They want the Starmer regime gone. I think everybody in the country wants the Starmer regime gone right now. I was looking at some stats. Less than 20% of the population want these people. They have no mandate. They have no mandate to do the things that they're doing at all. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, Steve. I'm glad you brought that up. And taking consideration that the Met Police said they could not cancel a pro-Palestine stand up to racism march. Yeah, in Tower Hamlets, they allowed that to go ahead, but they banned UKIP from having their march. It's very one-sided. It's very two-tier, and we're not heading towards dangerous territory. We're in dangerous territory now. This, along with David Lammy saying that he's going to make trial by jury a thing of the past, is something we should all not tolerate. We shouldn't tolerate this at all. This should be the line in the sand now that we all draw and say, you've gone too far. You need to roll it back, or you're going to be removed from government. Peacefully, of course, peacefully. Probably not. Probably not. They won't do that, will they? They'll starve. Disgusting that police are no, they're not attempting. They're actually arresting them. They've started to arrest them. I'm going to go into some more footage. I'll play the actual rest of the video. He's in handcuffs. This farmer is in handcuffs right now. This guy, they're arresting him.
We wanted you to protest safely, but you're not following the instructions.
I was getting the key out of my tractor. I was getting the key out.
Being arrested just by Trafalgar Square. It's absolutely outrageous. This is the place.
Police are just disgusting, aren't they? Right, well, this is here, Tommy's saying it. Welcome to the UK 2025. Farmers, literally, the hard grafting men and women who feed us, are being arrested as they protest to save their livelihoods. They're arresting farmers on Trafalgar Square roundabout. So it's not just him, they're arresting quite a few. So here we are again. I think this is somebody else's. Let's have a look at this one. I think this is somebody else being arrested. Right, imagine being a police officer and your job is now to arrest farmers because they're protesting against having their livelihoods taken away from them. You know, this is the whole thing with, oh, the law is the law. Yeah, that's a dangerous statement, though. Just stating the law is the law is what leads to dictatorships. This is what gives us the Nazi regime. This is what gives us Soviet Russia. The law is the law. If you follow the law without questioning it, this is what should happen. The law should be followed, but it should constantly be questioned and scrutinized, not only by us, but by the people who administer it and the people who uphold it. That's what it should do. The lawmakers, the people who create the laws, it should continually scrutinize not only the laws they're making, but the previous laws they've made to see if they're moral and they actually do society a service. This isn't doing society a service. This is the Starmer regime putting the jackboot on the farmers' necks. That's what this is. Exactly, Tom. This is just going to cause anybody else who believed in the Starmer regime to turn against them eventually. That's what's going to happen. 1,000 years of history being erased by a wanker in government. Yes, definitely. We all need to start protesting outside MPs' houses and police stations. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know. In the present climate, in my opinion, protesting is a waste of time. If you are of an indigenous population, authority clamps straight down. A lot of mixed views in the chat. A lot of mixed views. Some people saying we need to protest. Some saying protest is futile. Interesting. I think people have just had enough, haven't they? I want to know how many plod drive a modern tractor. It's like trying to drive a HGV on a moped permit. Yeah. The government don't acknowledge that if they get rid of farmers, it's not only the farmers that they will be getting rid of, it's also slaughterhouses and the plants that process the food. But that's what they want. They want to get rid of that. That's all part of the plan. They want to destroy the farming industry completely. So you'll be living on the insects. That'll be your sole source of protein in your new 15-minute cities with your new digital ID. That's what they want. Protest petitions are pointless. What's your take on the new Nürburgring trials film being released? It's at a time when we're all seeing stuff like this. I think it's important. I think eventually, because this is all going to collapse, this won't last. This is exactly like what Hitler was going about. We was talking about the Third Reich lasting 1,000 years. The same sort of maniacs are trying to create a new world government. It's all going to collapse because there's one thing that every single human on this planet shares in common, and it's their thirst for freedom. We don't like to be held prisoners. We don't like to be subjugated. We don't like to be oppressed. It's going to fall apart. And at the end, there'll most likely be a civil war, something like that, big war. And at the end of it, all these people, there'll be nowhere to hide for them. The police officers, the judges, the MPs, the politicians, all around the world are going to face justice for this. They will face justice. They will be brought to trial. And the ironic thing is, you see all these police evidence gatherers walking around with their cameras. They think they're gathering evidence against the evil people, when in reality they could be most likely gathering evidence for their own trials. We're at a point in history which the Nuremberg trials didn't have, and that was cameras everywhere. It's just every case is going to be open and shut with these people, because we'll be able to look back at the footage and see what they were actually doing at the time, and their own actions will condemn them. They don't realize it because they're drunk on power at the minute. They're all drunk on power. The judges, the politicians, they're having a merry old time suppressing the people, but that will change. History shows us that will change, and these people will be held to account for that. They will. We'll make sure of it. See how many affected people, how many people now are even supportive of protests, even compared to 6 months ago. Say to me, people have realised the tyranny we're in. They know this tyranny, Steve, definitely. The lifting of the second child cap is the indirect way of calling for millions of Muslims and sub-Saharans to flood Britain. A sneaky way to conquer and get votes. Yeah, exactly. We all know what that's about, don't we? I know what you're trying to say there, Steve, and I totally agree. We're run by a communist, remember. I'm going to get onto that in a minute. In fact, we'll get onto that now. So, yeah, farmers are being arrested in Trafalgar Square. So let's just drop the reality bombs, shall we, on people? Let's drop those reality bombs. Let's show things for how they really are. This is the reality of our situation at the minute. So let's see if that is being shared. Yeah, it's being shared. Right. So reality. The Prime Minister is a communist. He's a Trotsky communist. The Home Secretary is a fundamentalist Muslim. That's perfectly true. Yes, she was. She was on the pro-Palestine marches. She was out in Greece welcoming illegal immigrants ashore. And this is the person we have in charge of our borders and our security. Doesn't fill me full of confidence. The Justice Secretary, David Lammy, is a low IQ African communist. Yes. The Attorney General is a communist. Yes. They all hate Britain. Yes. That's the current situation of this country. We are in real dire straits at the minute. We really are. And it's showing. It's showing with the country. It's showing with how the police are reacting to things. We are pretty much screwed in this country at the minute. I'm going to see it next week, Steve. The trailers have been seen yet. Section 14 means there is no right to protest. Basically, yeah. That's it. That's right. The police now have the right to stop protests. You have no right to protest in this country. You have no right to free speech in this country. And soon, pretty much, you'll have no right to trial by jury either. We'll have show trials. We'll have activist judges. You'll see it. They'll trump up some charge on Tory Robinson. They'll stick him in front of an activist judge and they'll stick him away for 10 years. That's what they'll do. That's where this is going. Are you all ready to go to jail? Because they're happy to do it by protesting outside MPs' houses. That's playing into their hands, a bit like the girlies when they protested over Sarah Everard. Yeah, exactly. Totally agree, Steve. That'll just give them more excuses to clamp down on protest even further. Steve knows his next police officer. He knows exactly which laws they'll use to do it as well, as you can see on screen. We're in real trouble. Those like Starmer must never be allowed to succeed. I think at the end of this, when all this collapses, because it is going to collapse, this is going to collapse into a massive dumpster fire eventually, because they're going to run out of money. They're going to run out of money. The economy is going to collapse. And they're not going to get a bailout. They'll have no money to pay for the benefits. At that point, all those people that have come into the country, all those illegal immigrants, they'll bugger off. They'll go. They'll leave, which is a blessing in disguise. I mean, it's going to take the collapse of the economy to do it, but they're not going to want to be in a country. where the economy's collapsed, where the money dries up, the money's no longer coming in, they'll all go. They'll go. They'll leave. They'll go back home. So we'll just be left with a mess. The Labour Party will just step down. I've heard that, you know, me and Steve were talking about this the other day. We keep hearing about, oh, this is the end of Keir Starmer, the end of Keir Starmer. I keep hearing that he's going to resign in January. And it wouldn't surprise me because he's going to get a lot of backlash from this budget. I can't see Rachel from accounts lasting much more longer after the budget, because it's going to be horrific. The budget is going to absolutely destroy the country. They're penalising anybody that's worked hard. They're penalising homeowners. They're penalising people that have worked hard, people that have saved. They're coming after everybody. Ironically, they're coming after the middle class, which is what communists always do. They come after the middle class. They want to get rid of the middle class. They hate the working class. They hate the middle class. This is why you see all these lefties, all these posh lefties at protest, because they hate themselves. They're middle class and they hate themselves. They feel ashamed for the status that they have. That's why they're all posh. That's why they're all rich. They're all champagne socialists. It's going to tank. The economy is going downhill. This will be a repeat of the Great Depression in the 1930s. Yeah, it's going to bring the government down. It's going to bring the government down. Lots of people, we're going to see a lot of old age pensioners freeze to death. This winter, you need to check on your elderly pensioners in your community around you. You need to make sure they're okay. Get to know them, knock on the door so they know who you are. Sometimes it's just a matter of going around speaking to them. But yeah. Yeah. They're going to asset strip everybody. So what you're going to see all the millionaires leave the country. They're all going to go. There's going to be no excess to pay for the massive benefit budget that they've got. The NHS will collapse because it's just a money pit and it can't survive without this constant injection of cash that goes nowhere. That will collapse. It's just going to be a total collapse of society, which in itself could cause a civil war. When economies collapse, you know, you suddenly find out, you wake up one morning that all your savings suddenly don't have no value. Everything you've worked for your entire life is gone. That makes a lot of people angry, and that anger has to go somewhere. It's going to be an absolute shit show very soon in this country. So I don't know anything about that, Steve. I don't know anything about Bitcoin or whatever. I don't get into that sort of thing. 150 payment being made to vulnerable people, heating and electric VIN. Just put some people's minds at rest a little. Yeah, I suppose, but it's not gonna be a hell of a lot. Not when you consider the amount of resources they're throwing at the illegal immigrants, is it? Look at all the resources they're throwing. And then what is it? Nearly 5 million a week? 5 million a week on illegal immigrants, and they're just like sat in hotel rooms, heated hotel rooms, 3 meals a day, while we've got pensioners in this country that have worked all their lives, paid into the system, and don't get sweet FA. They get nothing. In fact, they're about to be taxed even further. The pensioners are about to be taxed, raise tax on the pensioners to pay for all these illegals we've let into the country. It's disgusting. You're right, the parasite class has become anonymous, not enormous and equal. Yeah, it's because it's not so much the native Brits. It's not so much the native Brits in English. You know what it is? It's all those inactive Pakistani Muslim men and their wives. That's the real burden. £150 wouldn't cover my mum's heating for a month, probably over the winter. Yeah, exactly. I know you agree, Tom. I'm not having a go at you, mate. I'm just saying, yeah, it's just a drop in the ocean, isn't it? No, I agree. It's just time. It's just thinning. If anyone's is vulnerable, they might get a payment. It's not much, but might get a little weight off. Yeah, I suppose it's little, but when that'll be taken off them, because when they up the energy costs, that'll just go on that, won't it? Yeah, pretty much, Crag. Then I think we will tax us for breathing next if she still has a job. Yes, she will. The anger of the Brits seems to have no bounds when it comes to testing. Testing is pushed back. What has to happen for us all to rise up or push back? No, we know that when the winter months, protests drop off, people drop off from protests. But what's going to happen is this anger isn't going away. It's still there, but it's bubbling under the surface. I can see it when I go out on the street. I can hear people talking about how angry they are. So this is just going to be on a simmer for the whole of the winter. They're going to get angrier and angrier at everything that these people are doing to them. And then come the summer, if we get another hot summer like we did this year, it's just going to explode. Even when the temperatures get a little bit warmer, it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's warm. People are going to be out on the streets with this one. They really are. They really are. Right. Let's see if there's any. Right. Let's have a look at. There were some other things I wanted to look at as well. But yeah, we're pretty much screwed in this country at the minute. Yeah, this guy. Finland and Poland are live fire exercises. NATO is going to absolutely destroy Russia when things come to a head. The thing is, it's going to be a NATO without America. America aren't going to lend their support. They've already said this. Zelensky either accepts the peace deal or American is going to withdraw its support, intelligence and weapons. So if they're going to do that, there's no way they're going to join in on a NATO attack. They won't do it. I've got a funny feeling President Trump might even leave NATO. I think he'll leave. When it comes to poking the Russian bear and knowing that Vladimir Putin has 5,000 nuclear warheads. Now you can dispute whether those warheads are active or not. It only takes one. He doesn't need thousands. It only takes one working nuclear weapon to do its job. And we can guarantee he's got one that works. We know that he's probably got one that works. And that's enough. That's it. Game over. World's over. Just with one nuke, let alone thousands. So these idiots that think that the combined forces of Europe can take on Russia are sadly deluded. They're deluded. Look at what they've done to themselves. They've basically made themselves defenseless by giving all their weapons and equipment to Ukraine, which is now gone because it's all been destroyed. So a lot of these countries don't even have the weaponry to fight a war with Russia, ourselves included. We simply don't have the equipment, the manpower, or the ammunition to do the job. For any type of prolonged war with Russia, we would lose. They would invade. The report went out the other day, we can't protect this country from invasion. So how the hell are we supposed to take on Russia in a prolonged war in winter? It would be suicide. The experts have been predicting, right? They've said in the last 30 years, right? Last 30 years, the British Army has only lost 500 soldiers. Now imagine when that starts to go to losing 500 soldiers a week on the front line. Life expectancy on the front line in Ukraine is 4 hours. 4 hours. How long could Europe sustain those losses? Not for very long. Not for very long at all. So look at some of this. I think it's 8 million a week, right, Kragan? Yeah. Yeah, he is a puppet. Of course, he's a puppet. Steve, 1 in 4 claim out of population, 3%. What does that tell you? Yeah. Zelensky is that disgusting Boris Johnson puppet who is being manipulated to mess with Russia. Yep, he is. And already guy said, imagine a nuke. Yeah. We wouldn't last a week. No, it wouldn't. He'd only have to drop one nuclear weapon right smack and bang middle of the UK, and it would cause a massive humanitarian crisis. All our other allies would have to come to help us. So any war would just grind to a halt. They're not capable of fighting a war with Russia, and they know that. They're just insane. But we have lots of women in the infantry. Thought they were trained to take on the Russian men. Yeah. Vin, I think it's more than 5 billion a week for the dinghy boys. 5 billion a week? You sure about that? I don't think it's 5 billion a week. To be honest, guys, I'd rather Putin win than Starmer, because at least Vladimir Putin is out to look after his people more than Starmer. Yeah, there is that. So yeah, that's insane, isn't it? Absolutely batshit crazy what these people are planning to do. I think I actually left a comment to him. I'm not sure for that. And we've got this guy here, Paul Weston. He's saying this about everything that's going on at the minute. As we watch the emerging tyranny of planned one world government, does anyone have a credible suggestion as to how we peacefully resist this? If there's no credible suggestion, is a modern day storming of the Bastille our only option if we wish to retain our ancient freedoms? It's a good question. It's a very, very good question. I think pretty soon it's going to be answered as well. Right, so stop sharing that. Right, so this is the part of the live stream where I just drop the link in the chat. Anybody can come in and have a talk if they want to. Feel free to come in. Just a way for me to connect with the audience and get to know you guys a little bit better. Right, links in the chat. Anybody can come in for a little bit. We'll have a chat and a talk. What do you guys think to the ending of the intro? I've like tweaked the intro a little bit. Should we watch it again? Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again, shall we? Right, this is the...
Against the moon, vindicator, rising soon.
Right, we've got Tom in. Let's bring Tom in. Move that. There we go. Hello, Tom. How you doing, mate?
Hey guys, hey Vin, how you doing?
How you doing, mate?
All right, I'm good. I'm good.
I suppose I could switch this on now, actually, if it works. Yeah, camera's not working.
Oh, it's not working.
Always something. Hang on. I know what I've got to do. I've got to change it to this one. There we go. There we go.
There you go. There you go. A good-looking fella.
I've got my mic on right. Tom,
that intro, right?
Right?
Don't.
I know
Sorry,
you've got a thing about mics. Is that on right?
I ain't got the right glasses on. Hang on. Hang on, because if you wear it the wrong way around, I'll be well pissed at you. Oh no, that one's all right. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right. You're good. You're good. People will keep wearing them sideways. The road mics, especially, you'll keep seeing them. People wearing them sideways, and they are unidirectional mics. So it's very frustrating to watch people do it.
Yeah. So, what do you think about everything that's going in the country at the minute, Tom? What do you think about it?
Well, just before I get there, don't change that intro. It's perfect. It's perfect. Ask your chat. It's perfect. It's really good. I know what tools are out there. You've done amazing with the tools that are out there. It's really, really good.
That was done with Grok, so
yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
It's really good. That's just my opinion. I'd see what your chat thinks, but I thought you'd nailed it. I think you absolutely fucking nailed it. It's so you as well. It's really imaginative. I didn't know you had that side to you, but that is so well fucking done. I know it's like people say AI, but you've got to write that. You've got to write it like that. So that was really well done.
Believe it, that's the tame version. You know me, that's the tame version.
Yeah, yeah.
I did go a little notch higher. It's like, no, that's not YouTube's not really not going to like that. So I was like, yeah. I'm not telling you what I had the tank actually doing at one point. So yeah,
I can imagine.
yeah. It wasn't up Starmer's arse at all, or firing a shell up Starmer's arse and launching him into the moon. It was nothing like that at all. So yeah, nothing like that at all.
But
We didn't do that.
But in terms of your question, I thought so. Bear in mind, our chat is a mixture of people who watch both our channels, people who watch one or the other. So it's a mixture of people. It's not an echo chamber. And I found it really interesting that everybody in here today, nobody shows any, as I was trying to say, even 6 months ago, towards protest. Everybody knows that it's all pointless now. Everybody knows the petitions are pointless now.
I'll just answer this one. Yeah, that was frustrating me, that one. It was like the one with the rainbow flag, that's supposed to be a rocket launcher, and it turned it into a machine gun for some reason. And that was after like the 50th attempt to put it through the process.
There's certain things they won't do.
Yeah, the way the grenade was being thrown was stressing me out as well. That is like, yeah, I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
You can tell who the military and squaddies are in the chat, but then they start commenting saying that's not what either. Yeah, I know. It's just an intro, guys. Just an intro.
You got away with a lot because, like I say, if I ask for like Darth Vader to get beheaded, just using the word beheaded, it says no.
Yeah,
there's certain things it won't do. So you did well. You did really well with that.
You wouldn't believe how long it took me to like get it to do the things I want it to do. It's like
I would. I know. It is just. It's trying to get the wording's like a programming language. So people think that even with the AI that people consider to be easy, you've still got to be able to write, and you've got to be able to write very well. And even then, it's like you're writing for a stupid person, isn't it, Vin?
Yeah.
Because
what they don't actually realize is there's filters on the AI, so it won't allow it to do certain things.
Exactly,
any violent act, it tends not to want to do it.
Yeah.
So you have to get around it. It won't fire the rocket. It won't fire a rocket from a rocket launcher.
Exactly. That's why it was swapping your weapons out, because it didn't really want to give you weapons. It's all these things you're fighting against with it. So
yeah,
very true. Very true.
It's like when I was chasing Starmer with the tank, it didn't really want to do that at all.
Yeah, with me, I haven't tried Grok, but with the ones that I've used, when I've tried to do anything with Starmer's name in it, boom, gone. That's why I had to use deepfakes, because what I started doing was go, okay, if you want to be like that, what I'll do is I'll get you to do what I want Starmer to do, and then I'll just put Starmer's face on when you've created the animation. So that was one of the tricks around it. So I'll have to actually then. Let me show you a deepfake tool, because it will allow you to get around some stuff if you ever want to try this again.
Okay, mate. But if you ever want to go and get your intros done, Tom's the guy to do it. He really is. Tom's the guy to do it. He does all this sort of thing. He does this from scratch with animations and stuff like that. He doesn't just type stuff into Grok and churn it out in a few seconds. He takes his time.
If you want it to be kind of unique, yours, and what's the word? If you want it to be, I guess, personalized to an extent that AI can't do it, then that that's kind of where I come in. Is the video editing side. So, but the AI is good for doing things like CGI, things like that, things that would cost us too much money to do. So,
Yeah.
they both got a place. But yeah, I do like intros are the fun thing to make for people. Sorry about this. I keep getting. But no, you mentioned the farmers earlier on, Ben, switching. And the one thing I will say in this country is, and I've seen it recently, is there's always been a split with people over the farmers. A lot of people don't support them. A lot of people do.
I don't get why they don't support the farmers though. It's like, why wouldn't you support the
Me,
farmers?
me either. I think I don't know what it is. There's some kind of divide between, or there used to. I don't know if it still is. There was some kind of divide between people and the farmers, and I think at the moment all of this is an important test because whatever those differences are, people need to be supporting the farmers because
Definitely.
it's all part of the same machine that's trying to kick off. We're all trying to kick off together. This is the time we've got to support each other, regardless of
I
any
don't,
differences.
I'll be honest with you. I don't get why the farmers and the Patriots didn't join forces. Why they haven't joined forces yet? Because it needs to happen. That needs to happen. But you know what
There's
I
always
think?
been there's always been a disconnect between them, and I don't know why.
You know what I think the disconnect was? I think it was Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage was the disconnect because he was like on the farmers' side. So I think they thought if we've got Nigel Farage on our side as a voice in Parliament, we can't really associate with the Patriots because he's already called them that lot.
Right.
So
Right.
we need our man in Parliament. I think that's the way they've been thinking. But they don't have to
Right.
do that anymore. They've got Rupert Lowe. They've got Rupert Lowe in Parliament now fighting for them as well. So, and he's more sympathetic towards the Patriot movement than Nigel Farage is. So there might be a shift going on there a bit. There could be a shift. Hopefully.
I hope so. We need people to really back every sort of industry like this because if we're all going to fight this, it's going to take the businesses, it's going to take the industry, it's going to take everybody. And so, whatever the reason is for any old grudges, they need to be put to one side.
Right. Be prepared. I've got some faceless person in the studio waiting to come in. I'm going to let them come in. I'm going to have my finger on the trigger, ready to pull it. So I hope you're not going to be some kind of nutter because you'll just be gone instantly. All right. Hello? Right. Fuck off. You're gone. You had your opportunity. Now you're gone. Right. Let's carry on, Steve. Right. I want to answer this question. I want to answer this one, right? What's your opinion on Putin and Zelensky? Right. My opinion is that Zelensky's a puppet. Putin's a dictator. There's no question about that. Putin is a dictator, but you've got to look at his position. He's completely surrounded on all sides by NATO forces, and NATO wants Ukraine to join NATO. The NATO wants them to join NATO, don't they? So the thing is, right? This is like their version of the Cuban Missile Crisis. They don't particularly want Ukraine to have missile sites, NATO missile sites, that close to their country because it's not like a matter of 20 minutes. It's instantaneous attack on Russia from where they are. So that's how I think about this. This has all been orchestrated, by the way, to attack Russia. There's something out there called the Minsk agreements that Ukraine and Russia signed to state that they wouldn't attack the Russian-speaking Ukrainians in Ukraine because they class themselves as Russian. And Russia said, right, so long as you keep to these accords, we'll stay out of it. They broke those accords when they started shelling the Donbass region, basically ethnically cleansing the Russian-speaking Ukrainians. So this wasn't unprovoked. This is the big misconception. This was not unprovoked by Russia. They more or less, they gave them so much leeway. They begged them to stop doing it, and they didn't do it. So that's why Putin said, right, we're going to do this special operation to make sure these people don't get ethnically cleansed. Whatever you think about Putin, that's the real reason he went in there. And Zelensky is the puppet of the globalists. That's what he is. So no matter what you think about the situation, this wasn't an unprovoked attack by Russia. It was provoked, and it was deliberately done so to provoke Russia into taking this action to try and have this insane war with them. What do you think, Tom?
I would agree with most of it. I mean, Well, I would echo the sentiment, especially that. But let me first off preface by saying we all know what Russia is and who Putin is, and it's no revelation to say that he is a villain, right? But with that said, that doesn't mean he's always wrong. He's
We,
right to say he's surrounding all sides. He is
we were
surrounding
told,
all sides. He's right to call us out and say, you wouldn't allow us to put missiles on your borders. He's right to call us out on that. He says a lot of things that are right. What you said about the ethnic cleansing, this gets put under the rug. And people just see him as being an unreasonable aggressor, prepared to do anything. And what I do think is that we were seeing these people on X, Finn, and I know you saw the same people saying that they wanted Russia to become, Ukraine to become part of NATO and Europe and all the rest of it. There's about 45% of people in Ukraine that don't want that. They want to be part of Russia. They don't give a shit about what they want. So I look at Ukraine, it's always been a proxy, it's a place for a proxy war. It always has been. Is that linked to Europe or, and I just think that Zelensky, you say puppet. I look at him as being. Maybe you're right because he's making this. I know he's not a natural leader, but he's making some decisions that make no sense. As in, he was trying to take ground. He was doing, and he's taking gambles that could literally mean the extinction of his country. And I just don't think any other leader would take a gamble with extinction the way that he has and continues to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've got people on X that are bitching and complaining about Russia using missiles against Ukraine and Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and yet they don't understand what war is. Like, yeah, that's war. They've been throwing drones and things at Russia. It's a war. That's what happens. It's the same thing with Gaza. They're saying, look at what's happened to Gaza. It's been totally leveled. Yeah, that's war. Don't start war with people that you can't militaristically fight against. That's the lesson there. Don't start wars you can't finish.
And this is the thing, is that this is like very similar to how World War II got started, in as much as it was much smaller countries getting in proxy wars where they had backing of bigger countries, and it dragged them into war. And it's not too dissimilar situation. And the more that's why I disapproved of the backing of Ukraine by us sending soldiers and other people. I didn't agree with that.
Yeah. We should, if we'd have not got involved, this would have been over about 2 or 3 years ago. It'd have been over, completely over and done with by now. It would have been resolved and settled.
Yeah.
Those regions that Russia took would now be in Russia, and Ukraine would be free to carry on its business.
And I think
there'd be a lot more less people dead.
Whether people like him or hate him, I think people also need to understand Putin's position. He lives in a culture, just like China, where you cannot lose face. You cannot. Your life literally depends on it. He must walk away from this being able to claim some kind of victory. If he doesn't, he's a dead man. That's the position he's in.
I'm laughing at the people, right, a minute on X, who are saying, we're going to put troops on the ground. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to put troops on the ground. He's got hypersonic missiles. He can basically surgically strike 10 Downing Street, just like that. And there's nothing we could do to stop it.
You saw that post on X. I'm pretty sure you saw it, where that guy was saying that NATO were going to go and kick Russia's ass and invade Russia. Do you remember? You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's on here. I'll put it up. I've actually got it on here.
Please. It's because people need to see it to believe it.
Yeah, he's a moron. He's an absolute
You
moron.
highlighted a couple of posts I saw on there, and they were absolute morons. The other one had a wish list, Putin executed, and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Here we go.
They put it on the big screen so I can see it.
Yeah, this guy here. Yeah, this guy.
Let me have 1 second.
You can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of them. Yeah. Yeah, that is going to absolutely destroy Russia. That was one of the two, yeah. And the other one...
They don't realise, right? They don't realise how big Russia's army is. It can keep throwing numbers at this conflict for longer than we could.
This is what I was trying to say earlier on a live stream, is Russia can turn it into a war of attrition. It's such a big country. it will work. They can do it. They can hold out for years and years, even at a disadvantage. You know.
Yeah, people really need to watch the War of Stalingrad and realize what these people are capable of doing if they really need to. And
Can
it's
I ask
like,
you a quick question, Vin?
yeah,
I think I mentioned on the live stream before about why oh shit, now I'm going to forget it. Oh no, spiting Trump. Why people were celebrating the idea of the fact of not having a peace deal, of Zelensky not wanting to sign a peace deal and walking away from it. They're all clapping it with these posts that we've just shown there, and I can't understand. Is it because millions of people could stand to get killed because they want this war to continue? These people on the left who are supposed to support peace. So is it that they are prepared for millions more people to die or thousands more people to die just because they want to spite Trump?
yeah,
Or is there some
yeah.
other reason?
No,
Oh, it
they
is
want to
that.
fight Trump. They hate Trump so much they'd rather millions of people die rather than he be successful and have peace in Ukraine. That's how deranged these people are, mate.
That's insane. I've been thinking all day about what other reasons it could be. And you instantly just say that as well.
No, this is how mental these people are. They're all laughing, saying, "Ha ha, Trump failed." It's like, yeah, he's failed. Now millions of people are going to die.
Yeah, yeah. What is with this used to be the side of politics that used to care too much. What has happened to these people?
The
They're
Marxists, mate,
turned into
communists,
monsters.
the Marxists and communists. They're just
Yeah,
evil people.
yeah. It's like their ideology can justify absolutely anything. Anything.
You talk about the ideology that had gulags, mate, that put people into gulags that were political opposition to them. These people advocate for that. They would love that to happen. They would love that to happen. And that's a scary thing. And these are the people we
It
have
is.
in charge right now.
Yeah. And it's interesting as well to see that the left, instead of being intimidated by all the violence they're seeing on the streets, regardless of what their politics is, they're actually they're supporting it, and in America, for instance, there's people who committed murders, including Charlie Kirk now, where they're trying to raise funds to defend them. The left are, because they believed it was their right because of how they felt. Just
Feelings. It's all about feelings. It's always
yeah,
about feelings. Oh, we feel it's justified, so it must be okay. It's like, no, you're just insane people. You're all insane. Absolutely batshit crazy insane. And we've met
what do you
them.
think?
We've met them, Tom. We've met them at protests. We know exactly what they're
Yeah,
like. They're insane.
yeah, that's the thing. So if you're someone who hasn't been to a protest or hasn't done that kind of thing, there may be a perception, like I used to have, that feminist Marxists, cultural Marxists, and things like this are a fringe group of people that you won't bump into very often, and it's so wrong. Because when you do start going to these things, when you do start coming at things with like a podcast and a political angle, my God, they come out of the woodwork. And what example of that, Vin, is the video I did with Owen Jones. I did a little animation on Owen Jones,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it brought up
Yeah.
nearly 500 communists.
Brought more out of the woodwork, that one, didn't it? It always does.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I put the Russian flag in there, mate, being burnt, because it'll probably drive them wild watching that. And the
yeah,
Marxists running away because the Union flag is coming at them.
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And they will hate it, but it's so crazy to me that, and right, people could say that both sides are polarized, and they would be right, but it's the arrogance in which they will dismiss when you talk about the deaths that communism that is responsible for. It's the ease that they dismiss it. They don't even bother trying to debate it or argue it. They just dismiss it as being unimportant.
The thing is, though, Tom, it's because they've never lived under it. They've never spoken to people that have lived under communism. They're only listening to what these college lecturers have been telling them for the 4 years they've been in college. They come out of college, they think they know everything. Look, like those two girls at the Southampton protest that I had a chat to, that just came up and called all the protests up there, oh, they haven't got 12 brain cells between them. It's this arrogant thing of they've got this false intellectual superiority when they're the dumb ones. They've got no clue about what they're talking about at all. And when you press them, and you've done it yourself, and I've done it myself as well. When you've pressed them on the views that they hold, they've got no answers. It was with those two girls. It was, oh, just because. It's like, well, because isn't a response, is it? It's not a cohesive response.
Whenever you give them pushback, it's like popping a balloon. You give a bit of pushback and the whole thing collapses. And I said to you, Vin, I say to my viewers, I call them one movers. They will come at you with one line or one action that they think will neutralize you. And when it fails and you have come back for them, they've got nothing for you. They've got nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You saw me on the protest in Sheffield, that guy on the bridge holding up the sign saying, refugees welcome here. I said, right, how many are you willing to take into your house? I'm not speaking to you. I'm not speaking to you. It's like, why? It's like you're at a protest out in public. You should be able to defend your positions easily if you're right. Couldn't do it. None of them can because they're just buzzwords, mate. They just give these signs up. Oh, I'm going to virtue signal for about half an hour, holding this sign up. They've got nothing. They've got nothing.
Yeah, I wish in a little fake fantasy land of mine, I wish we could do something like that where we make the people that want the migrants to live here have them in their house for at least a year.
That should be the punishment, mate. It should be the punishment. It's like, all right, then you want them, you take in 3 or 4 into your house, then.
Yeah. Don't get wrong.
And watch how quickly the boats stop, mate.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you've got children. Doesn't matter what your situation is. Because it doesn't matter for everybody else that has to deal with it. So
you know what, mate, right? If they say, oh, we haven't got enough room in the house, it's okay. We'll give you a nice big government tent to house them in your back garden.
Yeah, we'll give you a hotel.
Yeah.
We'll give you a hotel, but you've got to live there and deal with it all.
Yeah. All these celebrities, right, you've got a nice big mansion, you've got a few rooms spare. Here's 10. You've got 10 now. You've got 10 of them.
Exactly, and they're the quickest ones to get up there and lecture us all. So why not? Why not, adopt a migrant?
Yeah, and the biggest test, the biggest thing to all this was when the Green Party deputy came out and said that she didn't want them in a local area. How telling is that about what the real feelings are? They know these people are dangerous. They know they're dangerous. But while they're not in their neighbourhoods, they'll just keep flooding them into our communities. But eventually, that is just going to affect them anyway because there'll be nowhere else left for them to go. They will be in their neighbourhoods anyway.
Yeah, it's like where I am. Thankfully, I've been chronicling it. I can't say the word over the last few years, but my area was untouched, and a lot of people think because they're in areas like that, it won't come to them. It's not just a city thing now. It's gone down the veins and capillaries of the country. There's feeder systems now in councils to get them out everywhere. Everywhere's changing.
I've noticed as well, I don't know if you've noticed this, the growing tension in Epping. It's really growing there now. It's ballooned. Yeah. And I think I said that in a tweet today, it's a flashpoint. That area is a flashpoint. If everybody's talking about civil war, that's a point where it could start, where it could kick off is there. Everybody needs to keep their eyes on Epping.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think there's a couple of places, but that one, the hottest at the moment. I think it's a couple of, and the other thing as well is what's going on in Ireland. Is virtually a combat situation right now.
Well, I sent you that message, didn't I? When I showed you the Irish. This isn't just the Southern Irish. This is the Northern Irish. They've joined forces. The Protestants and the Catholics have joined forces and formed the first Irish militia. It's a joint force. There's a guy
with a podcast. At some point, it'd be great to get him on, perhaps with you on as well, Vin, because you've got more knowledge of certain things. But it's called Ronan Official, and he was taken off YouTube for a while, just for telling the truth, and he's back on YouTube again. But he's in Ireland and that, and he's got a lot of on the ground information, and he's been sort of saying about how bad it's getting over there in terms of what the pushback's going to be. It's going to be huge.
There's another guy you should watch as well, a guy called Irish Dad. He does a lot of this sort of stuff as well. He's given me some shout outs as well with things that's been happening in this country. And he's been talking about a lot of what's been happening in Ireland. And it's shocking. And it's like, we think our police are bad. The Guard over there are just 3 times as worse as ours. They really are. I mean, We saw that yesterday, didn't we? Where that teacher was getting arrested for not using pronouns, which is another reason why I put that in the intro as well today. The hand, the hand grenade to the pronouns.
This shit with the pronouns and that. I mean, arresting people for that. Actually seeing that through. Who were the Jobsworths that actually marched and did that? I mean, I'd be too ashamed. I'd be too ashamed.
They don't care. All they care about is their weekly wage, their pension. That's all they're bothered about. But pretty soon that'll be irrelevant because they won't be getting that. They won't get it. When the economy collapses, they'll not be getting paid.
I'll tell you, the police, like the police these days, instead of giving anybody a sense of safety, they are actually the most. I feel like they're the most violent people on the streets towards the citizens. Like whenever we were,
carry on, mate. Carry on. No, you carry on. I want you to answer this comment in a minute because if I do it.
Because I saw someone. So on this comment, I saw someone say about Steve Laws, speaking to somebody in the movement, and from my understanding, Steve Laws is part of Patriotic Alternative. Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't think he's. I think they had a falling out apparently. So
right. I saw a picture of him with a logo behind him, so that must have been from before. But Mark Collett had a base of about 100,000 people. He is a tiny piece of the far right part of the ethno-nationalists. He's never managed to get over that 100,000. Patriotic Alternative is his next attempt to rebrand himself, and it's been going for a few years. They're nobodies. They pretend to have the same politics as us because we have some of the same issues, but they want it to be 95% white, and they really mean 100. And they make ridiculous arguments based on altered facts about many different things. And I wouldn't want them anywhere near Parliament for any election.
And the thing is, right, Steve Laws lost me when he was like, when they got onto the subject of the Austrian painter. And it's like, I watched it up until that point. You know what? I was actually agreeing with him on quite a few things that he was saying. And then it was like, nah, that's why I'm out. This is why I'm always out when they start doing this.
They'll go down. They know what they're doing. They deliberately go down the same line as you because you've got the same belief up to a point. But then their strategy of how to like, for instance, when Colette was trying to take people in this movement, trying to get them on his side, and he got some, you would hear them talking, and I was a bit naive, and they would say things like, oh yeah, soon we're going to be able to, let's say on their podcast, soon we're going to be able to get our audience to be ready to listen to the JQ. And I used to think, what's the JQ? And they just would go on their podcast. And the Jewish question, I didn't realize that's what it meant. So they would say, well, and so they pretend that they're not this thing. And then literally they're saying it under their breath and on those podcasts. And then the strategy is to bring you in gently, and then to open you up to the Jewish question, and then other things that, they're a faction of the ethno-nationalists, by the way. They don't represent all of them. But Mark Collett was brilliantly exposed by Russell Brand years ago.
Yeah, the ethno-nationalists, right, they're on the spectrum. Not all ethno-nationalists are particularly that bad. Some got up towards the end where I would probably, there'd be a little bit of overlap with them. It's on a scale. You get the absolute ones that are quite reasonable, then you get the ones that are just raving lunatics at the other end of the scale.
It's a massive scale. It's a massive scale.
Yeah, it's
a massive scale of people. You've got, like I say, Mark Collett and those types. They're a very small fraction of it. There's some ethno-nationalists that are quite reasonable about a lot of things.
Right, I'll just answer this one as well, Craig. No, there won't be a police force if the economy collapses because there'll be nobody to pay them. And I very doubt a lot of them will turn up for work if they're not being paid. That's what happens when you've got a failed state. That's what happens when the economy collapses. This is what makes civil war more prominent because the streets become lawless.
And it's what happens when your police force doesn't stand for anything noble. Why would you want to go to work for free if you don't stand for anything noble and if you don't do anything noble?
Yeah, those days have gone. If this had happened in probably the 50s or the 60s, every police officer would turn up whether they were getting paid or not. That's a different story nowadays. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, they know what they're fighting for, as in nothing. They know. A lot of them must know what they're being paid for.
They're politicized. They're politicized. They stand for nothing. They've rejected the Pelian principles completely. They don't work on their oath anymore at all. It's just purely
They're crime reporters, not crime stoppers.
yeah. They're just thugs. They're just hired thugs of the government to do the government's force
And
work.
never forget, Vin. Never forget that they took the knee for
Oh yeah.
a racial, politically charged thing that had nothing to do with our country.
Well, a criminal. They took the knee to a
Yeah.
criminal.
Yeah. One of the worst things a police force could do. Just unreal.
And from that day onwards, that was the point when they lost all authority. That's when nobody had any respect for them anymore.
Yeah.
Even the criminals. Because the minute you take the knee to somebody like that, they laugh at you and think these people are a joke.
I would argue, I don't know if you agree with this, Vin, but as an optic, I would argue that the police should never be seen on their knees for any reason.
No, definitely not. They shouldn't be at any political event. They should be impartial at every political event. People have said to me, they've said, what should the police be, more right wing? No, they should be neutral, politically neutral. That's what we want. A politically neutral police force that actually upholds the law equally for everybody, straight across the board. That's what we want, isn't it, Tom?
I'll tell you what, yeah, I agree totally. And I'll tell you what, the army aren't allowed to strike, but they can find ways of not fighting.
Yeah, they can legally say that they're not going to follow orders. They'll be court-martialed, but they have a clause that they can't follow illegal orders. The police do as well. Steve told me that. They have a legal obligation not to follow illegal orders. So when all this does collapse and it all goes to crap, and we do have our Nuremberg trials like we used to have, a lot of these people are going to be in the shit because there'll be nowhere to hide. Literally nowhere. The Nazis found out that. They were hunted for years, right up into their 90s. They didn't have a day's peace for the rest of their lives because they were hunted for the things that they'd done. Now, I'm not saying the police have done anything as bad as the Nazis. Of course they haven't. But they have oppressed the people, and the people will have to be held account. And what the foot soldiers on the ground have to realise is it's not going to be the police chiefs, the inspectors, or anybody like that who's next are going to be on the chopping block. It's going to be every average, everyday PC that followed their orders. That's who next are going to be on the chopping block. Just like they're doing to the soldiers now. They're throwing them under the bus.
And it's worth understanding, right? And I will say to you in all honesty, so that we are clear about my intention here. There are people that agitate the police, that get a response that may be over the top, that shouldn't happen, but they have nevertheless engineered it or agitated it. And I don't agree with it, but it happens. So with that out in the open and there, I've also seen the police engage so many times in London in needless acts of violence against people. Needless, completely unprovoked. The slightest bit of what they might even see as back chat has warranted batons and things before. It's been shocking to see. It's shocking to see the level of violence they were prepared to go to very quickly. I thought it was about de-escalation. They will escalate it very quickly.
It's all about de-escalation. They're supposed to de-escalate the situation, not inflame it. And the thing that I showed was Mystic Media when he was at the protest in Sheffield. That police officer pushed him so hard that he flew into the middle of the road. There was no need for that at all.
They hurt me, Vin. Did you know that?
Pardon?
They hurt me by accident. Did you know that?
Yeah. When we were at the protest in Southampton, they tried to catch you, didn't you?
No, sorry, no. There was a demo I went to years ago. Some people might remember. There was a guy called Ginger Chris who was in front of me, and I don't know what happened, but maybe he went past the line he wasn't supposed to cross. I don't really know because I was behind him and he was taller than me. But they shoved him as hard as they could. He bounced into me, and it knocked me flat out on the floor, and all my neck and everything was fucked up. And
you told me about it. Yeah, you told me about it, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, it really, really messed me up. And the police said, "Oh, don't worry, we've got it all on camera, all the rest of it." Nothing was done about that. But if he didn't have me to bounce off, I don't know how he wouldn't have bounced his head off the concrete. Because the only thing that stopped my head from bouncing on the concrete was my backpack.
They're just. That's another thing that could happen as well, because we saw them get violent last night at Epping. They pushed a woman over, and that was inflaming things yet again. It's like if you kill a woman, if you kill a child accidentally, say goodbye to the country, because it will just. It doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. That will ignite.
Yeah,
that will ignite everything.
That would be, yeah. And it could happen, because the thing is, it's like you punch someone, you take the risk of them hitting the head on the curb and dying. You always take that risk. The way that coppers these days.
Right, Tom. I've just got to do something. Right. Right. I'm gonna do something. Yeah, you're gone. Okay. He always trips himself up in everything that he does every single time. He just can't help himself. And it's like, you said something. I'm not going to say who it is because we don't mention his names like Voldemort. But Tom knows who he is. But every single time, I'll always find you. I'll always hunt you down, and you'll always be gone. You will never set foot on this channel ever again.
Fair play. Fair play.
Yeah. Thought he was clever.
Why am I not seeing it? I see the comments that come up when I look up there, but it doesn't come up when I'm on here. That's weird. It don't matter.
Just have a look at some of the comments. See if I missed some. So look at this. Hi, the police are actually a registered corporation, so it's just money and it's not the law or any morals. Of course it is. I mean, everything's a registered corporation, really, isn't it, if you think about it? Even the government's a registered corporation. So, and they're run by the government. So,
Steve, when you were doing your job, I don't know much about the law myself, right? So I'm not in a position to chastise anybody else. But coppers these days, it generally seems like when they're challenged on the law, they don't seem to know it. When you were doing policing, was it different? Did you know the law, or is it because it's dealt with by the courts that they don't know it? And honest question, I don't know. I don't know whether I should be hard on them for it or whether there's actually a genuine reason.
In my opinion, they should know the law that they're administrating. They really should. I mean, there was a guy the other day. They detained a guy. I think Steve will probably have seen it. They detained one guy, and he was like really clued up on the law. The person they stopped really knew the ins and outs of the law. It's like, right, what act are you using? Which are you doing now? And the police officer had to Google it. He didn't know what law he was detaining him under. He was actually looking for something to detain him under.
I've seen a few where if it hadn't have been for the guy that the police officers were harassing, telling them what the law was, they would have accidentally broken it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Sometimes they should just keep their mouth shut and just let them hang themselves with their own words and just record it. Just record it all.
Yeah.
And say, I'm recording everything. You carry on, officer. I'll comply with everything that you want me to do.
I'll tell you what was shocking as well. If you see, I only watch videos like these in stints because I find I tire of them quickly. But those videos where cops catch other cops, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And what I noticed was videos from about 5 to 7 years ago. If you watch those, the shocking amount of times, especially when it's a cop committing a crime, that they think it's the old days, and they're telling the other coppers to turn their camera off, and the other coppers going, "No, I can't do that."
No,
and it shows you how much it did happen, how they expect it. They don't. It's not. They're not asking like pleading. They expect them to turn the camera off. It was obviously done all the time.
There you go. Steve's responded. He's put this. It changes to an extent in 1986 when the CPS took over prosecutions. But in my day, we were much more constrained. We needed to know what we were doing, as the chief officer would come down as like a ton of bricks.
Right.
I'm guessing that doesn't happen anymore then.
Right. So now if you go far enough back, there was some really, really high standards for the police, weren't there? Like you couldn't be divorced and stuff like that. I think, things like that.
Yeah. And the thing is, Tom, you'll remember because this because we're from the same sort of era, aren't we? You'll know about the community police officer, the local police officer that would come round and patrol the streets around your area. You knew him. You knew him.
Yeah.
You knew the area was safe because you knew he was always
That's
present.
right. That's right. And the other thing is as well is, and someone explains to me once, but it's like it's the policeman in your head. That one man who couldn't be everywhere would put off the average citizen from carrying a TV down the road on the shoulder because they might just bump into him. It's just a subtle. It was a policeman in your head is worth 10 times the amount they're putting on the street, sort of thing.
Tom, I can count on one hand the amount of times I've seen a police officer in this area. That's within the year.
But where I am, things got really bad crime-wise, really bad. So they then sent patrol cars around all the time. Once it got that bad, and then that crime sort of went away. So now they don't patrol it. I haven't seen a police car here in absolutely ages again. So it'll just go back to how it was again.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. I think it's some circumstances they just don't have the police to actually do it anymore because they just haven't got the funding. And it's like, well, why haven't they got the funding?
I know
It's like it's almost, Tom, like they've deliberately made society more dangerous. I wonder why that could be.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because a lot of the coppers I spoke to when they were on my side, I got attacked, or when it was when I was defending someone. When I was asking them about where they come from, how they got into the job, most of them were ex-doormen.
Yeah.
And
at one time, most police were ex-services. They were ex-military.
Yeah. I was surprised, ex-doormen. I was like, bearing in mind, I know some doormen take their jobs very seriously and they are very professional. And I've seen that myself. There are some that aren't definitely nowhere near that professional and are there for a fight.
I've got it on good authority. I've got quite a few people that are still in the police force, friends and family and stuff like that. And they tell me that they can't wait to get out because of the new recruits that are coming up through the ranks. They're all idiots. They're all woke. They've got no clue how to do the job. They're putting their lives at risk when they're partnered up with them because they don't know anything. And it's like I'm actually to some extent I feel sorry for the police officers that are actually good at their job because they've got to work with that absolute shit that's been recruited into the police force.
The TSG in London. I mean, I think Danny Roscoe saved me from not only arrest but being fucked up. Sorry for my language, but that's the only words that.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it.
I think I would have been violently fucked up for doing the unthinkable, being there, for just being in the way. And I think he rescued me from myself if you ask Danny Roscoe, he'll know exactly what day I'm talking about because the unforgettable was watching the TSG at the back of this van, preparing to go and hurt people. And one of them, we didn't know if he'd taken drugs or not. He was frothing at the mouth, going, ah, ah, ah. There was nobody.
I don't know if you saw this video. This was at the time when the COVID thing was going on. Remember they were going around stopping the protests, and we saw that police officer with the right gloves on going like that with his hand as he was walking up to the protesters. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah, and this is right. So that's another example of it. This is the attitude they go in with. This is, that when and I'm talking about in London. I'm not saying it's the same everywhere. I don't know, but just what I've seen in London, the TSG are going in for a fight, and they will hurt you. They've hurt me before. Again, not because I've been in the wrong place or done the wrong thing, because I was in the way. They don't say excuse me. They don't push you out the way. They march over you.
If you remember, quite a few times at the Southport protest, I was pulling you out of the way because I knew what they were going to do. They'd come charging through forward.
Yeah, they'll charge straight through you. Yeah.
And the horses, I don't know how they got the qualification for riding horses, but they were shocking at that Southampton.
They were, weren't they? See, that's what I mean. You compare that to London. London, they would admittedly have them under control. Southampton, they were all over the place.
Yeah, it was like, what are you doing? You shouldn't even be on that horse. That guy was on a horse. He actually trampled a woman by accident at the side. I was watching some of the footage. Yeah, he trampled a woman at the opposite side of the bridge. Just after that bridge incident, when they're all charging in, the horses went in to stop people. He accidentally trampled somebody.
What a
that was
fucking
eating out
idiot!
of the way.
What an idiot!
Loads of people were saying to me, "You haven't got that horse under control, mate. You need to like get
What?
it out of here."
What an absolute tool! That is unbelievable.
Just idiots, mate. What's this? The worst I saw recently in London was the British Transport Police were total thugs during the last UTK rally. I can tell you a few things about the TSG in my day, Special Patrol Group. Yeah, I bet. I could tell you a few
Yeah,
things about them as well, because I had them out in Iraq with me, and I can tell you.
Oh, did you?
As soon as the bullets started firing at them, they were hiding, mate. Hiding. They got
Really?
sent back. They got sent back the same week, and these were armed response unit officers.
Really?
Yeah.
So they were okay dishing the bullets out, but it's when they came back.
Oh yeah, because here in Britain, nobody's really armed, are they? Nobody's really armed in
No,
this country.
no.
So you can walk around like Tango and Cash with your little Heckler and Koch machine gun and your little pistol at the side of you. You can look hard, but the minute those bullets start flying past your head, it's a different story.
So were these guys that, okay, so were they just not expecting it, and would they have got used to it, or were they just not up to the task? Period.
Went up to the task. These were ex-military, by the way, mate. They were
Oh
ex-military. As
wow!
well. Never
Wow.
never been in combat though, which is
Right.
always telling.
Right.
All telling.
Right. Mm.
They obviously they went into the police after they finished the service in the army, wherever they were from, and then they thought, you know what, I've had no action. I need to go and get some action. The only action these people
Yeah.
get is on firing ranges. It's a lot
That's
different.
exactly what I was thinking when you said it. The reasoning for it, to get some action. Exactly what I was thinking.
Came out for the wrong reasons, fucked around and found out, and went home the same week. So
Jesus Christ. Jesus. It just shows you. Yeah, and like I say, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know enough about the police. I'm not saying the TSG is the same everywhere. I just know what I've seen in London. And, I've seen a guy get punched for literally slowly approaching the police and asking them what they were doing because they were manhandling a 50-year-old woman, 3 of them. And he slowly approached them with his arms down by his sides, with the hands open to show that he wasn't a threat, and he got a punch in the mouth for it.
I've just got to answer this question from Steve. Right, Steve. Yeah, what we found out was, mate, that he wasn't even armed response. He'd lied on his CV. He was actually TSG. He'd never actually handled the firearm.
What?
That's why he got sent home pretty sharpish.
Wow.
Scary, since he was in my team. And it's like, you can't even handle a weapon, mate.
So he could have been responsible
we were all looking
for
at him because he was like, what's he doing? He didn't know how to load a rifle properly. He didn't know how to check it. He didn't know how to like do the things he's supposed to do. But yeah.
So that lie could have been responsible for people's lives.
Well, the thing is, there's a rumor. I can't prove it, so I've got to say allegedly. Allegedly, there's quite a few armed response unit officers that aren't actually qualified. They're actually in armed response units. They get the tick. They get the diversity, equity, inclusion tick because they failed. They failed the course, but they get the tick because they need to have the quota in that particular thing. So,
right, is it sort of same kind of thing as the SIA badge? How that got diluted into not what it was.
Yeah, it's like they're just looking for quotas, not actually looking to.
So what you?
Here we go. Don't talk to me like that again, boy. I'm a former police officer. I'll put you down, boy. Okay, mate. Okay, calm down. Calm down. All capitals. You might be a little bit annoyed and that sort of thing. You never know. You might make the next intro. You never know. Hey,
is he taking the piss out of the other guy or?
No, this is the ex police officer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, he's back again. So he's just confirmed something that I kind of already knew about this guy.
A connection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we do with these sort of people is they go bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tom, right, you've met me in person, right? You know that, yeah, you don't particularly want to go down that route with me at all. So
no, I think I don't know. Maybe Well, again, I think there's a connection here, isn't there, Ben? That neither of us want to say, but
Oh yes, there's a connection, Steve. There's a connection, Steve. Tom, I'm losing it. Yeah, there's a connection.
yeah.
Uh,
So, but yeah,
I don't. Yeah,
people don't get.
I don't think
Sorry,
that
go
was
on.
actually my friendly police officer that used to come into the live thing. I think that's just somebody else copycatting him.
Yeah, yeah.
But we know who that is, don't we?
But no, if you see Vin when he's out and about, um, even when people try and go, like the people that try and go and give him shit, they think they want to give him shit until they're facing him, and then they lose the bottle all of a sudden
Yeah.
because
What's
they
this?
see that he's completely unintimidated, and quite happy to go wherever, and it doesn't work out.
Somebody's saying this here. I think Wayne Couzens has escaped from jail. Really? Can anybody confirm that? Have we got any footage? Have we got any links you can drop so we can have a look at it? Wayne Couzens is that person that murdered that young girl, isn't it, and committed sexual assault. Police officer, ex-police officer.
You know that word you just said.
Yeah.
That might be the one thing on your YouTube channel they'll come down on you for, just so you know.
Yeah. All right.
From what I understand, their algorithms are really fine-tuned for that phrase for some reason. I don't know why.
Here we go. I need that copy. He's totally unprofessional. Oh, really? Is he unprofessional? Okay. I think we've got a little gang.
A game, game going.
Yeah, we got a little.
I'll tell you what. To divert this much energy to being so many people, yeah, it's kind of sad.
I'm on
But
it.
I was gonna say, it's you know, you must be pretty pretty exciting to stalk like this.
This is true. This comment's true. If Trump hadn't got where we would be now, war with Russia, yeah, we would have been. If Biden had got into the president's thing again, we would definitely be at war with Russia right now.
Yeah,
well, we
and
wouldn't be
people
alive. We wouldn't be here. So
and people should fear losing Trump for the same reasons.
That seemed to be what the left are plugging for, right up the fall of Kamala Harris. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
No, Vin, what about the guy giving you grief? He's unprofessional, mate. Oh, yeah, he is unprofessional. 100%. He's not even a police officer. He's a troll who makes out he's a police officer, but that's not even him. That's somebody else pretending to be him. It's weird, isn't it? We've got a troll pretend to be another troll. This is how crazy things get in these sort of things.
And this is. I was talking to some of you guys the other day about how people have got perspectives on channels. Like Vin's a very grounded guy. He knows 6,000 people is a great achievement, but he also knows it's still just 6,000 people.
Yeah.
But some people put so much extra weight in it, and they look at it as something. I don't know, Vin. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
They look at it with the wrong perspective, and they look at it as I don't know how to explain it.
To me, I'm grounded. I've got people that ground me. I'm grounded myself completely. But the thing is, I'm grateful for the audience and that sort of thing. But to me, it is still just a number. That's all it is. It's just a number.
Yeah. And I think for some people, and I say this because it's the behavior that's come out of people and the things that they've said in the past, and you know, and they will look at a channel with say 10,000 people on. I mean, I don't know, maybe they've tried to grow a channel themselves. I have no idea, but they see it as being fame, and it's like, no, it's absolutely not. It's not even dead level fame. It's 10,000 people. You've still got a long way to go for anything like that. But that's how some people seem to see it.
I find it
A
amusing, mate, though,
small minority.
that they judge you on the number of subscribers you've got. So they look at it and think, "Oh, you're just new to all this." It's like, no, I've been around for about 20 years on YouTube. I've just gone through many battles where I've lost my channels and I've had to come back and rebuild things.
Exactly. If anything, you know more because you've been through those battles.
Exactly, yeah. And you've got auditors. No offense to any other auditors, but just take this with a pinch of salt. I like auditors, but there are some auditors out there that are complete utter arseholes. They are arseholes. And
Yeah.
all they care about is views, clicks, and that's it. And if that's all you care about, then you're a very shallow person. The movement, I mean, me and Tom, the movement is everything. Getting the message out there is everything. Everything other than that is secondary. It's secondary to what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And it's like with the numbers mean something to us because we're trying to get a message out and we're trying to bring people together. That's it. It's very, very different than celebrating numbers for how much you think you'll earn that day or whatever else, and how you managed to antagonize a situation. You know, it's two different agendas going on there.
I don't know what this is about. R.I.P. Ian Tomlinson. Notice he didn't get any riots after dying from police brutality, but Gangster did. Yeah, exactly.
I remember that. I remember that name.
Yeah. These people you're on about, perhaps they got nothing in their lives. They're vacuous and pathetic and got no morals. Yeah, that's what they are.
They
Hit the
are.
nail on the head with that
They
one.
are totally vacuous. That is a perfect way of describing them.
Right, Tom. I think I'm going to end it here, mate. I think that's a perfect time to end it. I'm not one of those sort of people. I don't waffle on when I've got nothing to say because it just slows everything down. I think it's awesome. It's always great when you come in, mate. It's brilliant.
I really appreciate you having me on.
It's good to have people to like play against because people don't appreciate that when you're talking for an hour, it's hard to do it to keep
Yes,
going.
It's
hard.
nice to have a chemistry where I can sort of relax and talk to you and not, you know, worry too much. So it's good to have that. And then bouncing off your chat as well. It's great. I love it. So I do appreciate you having me on. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for putting up with me as well.
And I've said this to you before. Eventually I get tired of my own voice. I really do. It's like I feel like just shut up now. Just shut up.
Yeah. I literally have screamed that at myself before. Shut the F up.
Yeah. But yeah, I've had enough now. Yeah, that's it. I'm sick of my own voice. It's doing me head in.
Yeah.
But you guys are brilliant and love you all. Great chat. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me with this channel and everything. Go and subscribe to Tom's channel. Go and subscribe to his new channel, 00 News, isn't it, Tom? 00 News.
00 News, yeah. Or this one, either is fine. But yeah, I'll tell you what, my main channel, one I'm on now, at 0 News. If we can get that at 20k, we're not far away from that. It would be a quite great bargaining chip for me at the moment because I'm in talks with YouTube to try and get my channel back as it was. So that might help me stick it up. So if you could help me get there, guys, I really appreciate it.
You heard it, guys. That's the goal. Let's go give Tom to 20,000 subscribers, and that will really help out his channel. Really will. And also, don't forget to like and share, subscribe to his content as well. He does some good live streams. Like I said before, he does great dog training live streams. So.
Well, thanks for having me on, Ben.
If you've been to Tom's channel, you'll understand that. Hi, how you doing? How you doing?
Yeah. And love the intro, Ben. Love the intro.
There we go. Steve's dropped your link in the chat, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you.
Right. Thanks for coming, Tom. This is Vindicator. Sign off. It's a pleasure to have everybody come chat again. I shall see you all soon.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, Ben.
No problem, mate. This is Vindicator. Sign off.